Open up.
Should be going live any second. Oh, there we are. Yeah, let's just give the guys a few seconds to all pop in. Guys, we're not ignoring you. We're just waiting a couple minutes for some people to actually start arriving to this live stream. It's not just me and Jory talking to ourselves. Oh, there we go. We got Joseph, Valen, Dufresne, Esteban. All right, well, let's get this started. First of all, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our live stream. We do this almost every Thursday on my channel and on the Time Tellers channel. We missed a couple of weeks because I was in New York for the watch show and you know, Jory was busy with work, but we're definitely back. And if you guys don't know who Jory, and of course it happens, UPS guy, please excuse me.
What's up, guys? So I'm the Time Teller. I think most of you know who I am, but if you don't, you should definitely click the link in the description. The link to my channel should be there, but essentially Federico's channel, he'll teach you a lot, as you guys know, about watches. He knows an incredible amount about watches, but if you want to have a laugh, if you want to chuckle and learn a little bit about watches, then definitely you can check out my channel as well.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I can't control when the UPS guy shows up. Actually, that was the FedEx guy. UPS guy's coming later. But yeah, guys, I'm sure Jory already said it, but go check out his channel. Link in the description below. And also, Jory, I got to let you know, man, congratulations on hitting and surpassing 45,000 subs, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we just recently hit 46,000 subscribers. So, you know what did it was I made an episode about movement, MVMT. And Federico, you know, there's no real way to anticipate which videos will go like semi-viral or whatever. But this one, I released it. Then a week later, it like jumped past 100,000, 200,000 views, blah, 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 blah. And yeah.
Because, dude, you nailed it. It's like the whole company, they don't care about their customers. They care about the influencers. It was genius.
I think the worst part about them, real quick, is that the watches they sell for like $100, $130, they're the same watches you can find on Alibaba, Alibaba.com, for $2. The only difference is that they don't have the movement logo on them. And I'm not making a joke. This is actual. I'm gonna make a video about this in the future. Yeah, so literally the same watches.
But anyway, guys, we're here today to talk about Tag Heuer. Do they suck? Last little delay before we start. Jory, what are you wearing, brother?
I'm wearing my Speedmaster Professional Moon watch, but this is the 25th anniversary. Maybe it'll show up. You can see some engravings. This one's from '94. Very, very cool piece. And I actually just did an episode on my channel using Polywatch on the Hesalite crystal, so you guys should check that out.
Absolutely. And today I'm rocking the Panerai Luminar Marina PAM 111, the piece that has not been getting all that much love in my collection lately, but it's like 100 degrees in Miami, and I figured it was a good day for a rubber-strapped watch.
Yeah, it's been in like the high to mid to high 90s all week for like the past 2 weeks here in Los Angeles. ZZYGYY says too hot in Los Angeles. That's true.
But yeah, all right. So Tag Heuer, do they suck? You know, I think we have slightly varying opinions on this. I know you feel rather strongly about it, whereas I'm a little bit more moderate on my Tag Heuer views. But Jory, what do you think Tag, and why do you think it?
Okay, so I think at first we should make a distinction. Heuer, their Carreras, like the original Heuer's, very nice watches. I'm a fan. Some of those are on my Grail list. Tag Heuer, vastly different company in my opinion. My issue, okay, this is where things are going to get kind of wonky, so bear with me. I think to first talk about how I feel about Tag Heuer, we have to talk about Rolex. Okay, so whenever I'm a huge Rolex guy, I think you guys all know that. Whenever I talk about Rolex, I get people in the comment section telling me that Rolex has an expert marketing team. The only reason they are where they are is because they're marketing. They throw their brand equity around. They throw their weight around, and all you're doing is buying a name. Okay, well, yes, that's total BS. And if it's the same people making that argument that whenever I make a video mentioning how I hate Tag, it's those same people popping in telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah 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 blah. They have a quartz aqua racer and it's an amazing watch. It's their first luxury piece. Blah blah blah. Well, here's the thing: we need to be congruent in our argument. That's all I'm saying. I'm fine with people critiquing watch companies I like, but if you're going to say Rolex is just a name, look at how much marketing Tag does with their pieces. I mean, Tom Brady, Djokovic is a Seiko guy actually, but all these different athletes and race car drivers and blah 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 blah, and they're just throwing money at marketing. And the difference between Rolex and Tag is Rolex actually still makes high quality pieces. Tag doesn't. Well, it's just marketing.
I'm gonna interrupt you there. See, I do think Tag makes some good watches, and as a marketer, I'm not a marketer by trade, but as maybe I'm biased because I work in the watch industry. Tag Heuer, I think, needs to market right now because they need to shed a reputation that they, unfortunately built during the 90s and early 2000s. Now, yeah, Tag Heuer is a different company than Heuer, and I think Tag Heuer now has some merit. We'll get into that in a few minutes. We'll go back and forth, and you let me know what you think. But Tag Heuer, unfortunately, in the 90s and early 2000s, made some, and excuse my language, really shitty watches. I mean, maybe not extremely low in quality, but certainly not for the price point. I'm talking plastic movement holders, lots of quartz, base ETA stuff, all in relatively high price points, $2,000 to $3,000. And they got a bad rap for being a company that didn't offer a lot for their buck. But now fast forward to 2018, or even earlier, 2015 to 2018, Tag Heuer finally starts doing some cool stuff again. Not everything, but some cool stuff again. They need to market because it's going to take decades for them to shed that, mediocre middle America, my first luxury watch ripoff kind of stereotype that they stand for.
Right. Well, I'll absolutely agree with you that there was a definite change in the 90s, excuse me, in Tag's quality. But here's my issue. So you actually touched upon some of the things I was going to bring up. Excuse me. I am not okay with. Okay, actually, this is really interesting. You made a very good video recently. I think it was your last video that you made, where you were talking about you may add a quartz watch to your to your collection, and
Sure.
that was very, very exciting for me to read, or to read the title and then of course watch your video. And in that episode, you said, "Now I wouldn't go anywhere past like $2,000 to $3,000." And in my head, I was like, "Ding! He's gonna get roasted in the comment section for saying that."
I did.
And so the thing is because every time I make a video about my tuna, people are like, "Oh, you spent over $1,000 on a quartz? Blah 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 blah." Well, here's the deal. I'm okay with like quartz watches being above $1,000 if the movement and engineering is there. Okay, you can't have modern aqua racers, okay, from Tag Heuer with plastic housings and connectivity issues with their batteries selling for over $1,000. You can't do it. Okay, Tag's building watches. Tag's building quartz watches. Okay, today with plastic housings. Okay, and because they slapped on a Tag Heuer logo, they're charging over $1,000, and that's not okay with me.
All right. Okay. Yes. Now I'm going to say this. You have to give a little bit of credit to case construction and yada, 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 but still grossly overpriced. Okay, not defending Tag. But Tag Heuer is one of those weird brands like Longines where they make some absolute shit and that's to get people into the brand.
Mhm.
And then they make some higher end stuff, which isn't necessarily super expensive, where there's real quality. I mean, a lot of people start by buying that Link or that Quartz Aqua Racer, and then move up to a Monaco, a Monza, a Carrera, right? So while I think what they're doing is a little bit of a sin, I think business-wise, you need to attract people somehow.
Okay, yeah, that's what we call the bait in business. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you need an entry level product to gain some clientele. I understand that, but here,
And what about the Cartier? Remember, I made a whole video. I opened a Cartier because I bought a
That's
Cartier
true.
Crozier. I bought one from a client, and I open every watch to make sure it's authentic. And I open it, and that automatic Cartier with the in-house movement had a plastic movement holder.
Yeah, they do that with their tanks. Yeah, that's
It's like, so it's not only Tag Heuer, you know what I mean?
right. I think the difference between, and of course I've said in numerous videos that like Cartier makes some of the most beautiful watches. I think with them, there is like a vast attention to detail with the design of their watch, and you're not going to wear a quartz tank, in the ocean or anything. This is a watch that you're putting on going out to dinner or at an event. Whereas they're selling, their a quartz Formula One for like $1,400, or a quartz Aqua Racer for, I mean, similar price points, sometimes $1,700 for a quartz. And these are meant to be sports watches. So that's where, but in the comment section, really quick, someone brought something up. Dang, I can't find the comment. Grim Reaper wrote, but Tag has the cheapest tourbillon. And you, Fed, have mentioned this in an episode, that they do have the cheapest tourbillon. First of all, that's not an inexpensive watch. That's still not an inexpensive watch. And then also, is that really something to brag about? That like, I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing. It is a little bit, because tourbillons are a little bit of a scam, right? In the beginning, yeah, they were really hard to make. But as someone aptly put it here in the comments, Kyle K, China makes tourbillons for under $1,000.
Right.
So, I remember when Tag Heuer released that tourbillon, it was 10, 12, somewhere between 12 and 16,000. Thierry Stern, the president of Patek Philippe, went on a rampage saying Tag was ruining the industry. And the only reason he said that, in my humble opinion, I'm not Thierry Stern, I'm not in his head. The only reason he said that is because his tourbillons start at like 200 G's.
Exactly, yeah.
And even if you're not Tag, even if you're not Patek, even if you're Zenith, very reasonably priced Swiss luxury watches, they're still 30 to 40 grand.
Oh,
so Tag Heuer is like, hey, take a look at this, half price, baby.
Right. Okay.
And that, to me, that was the big middle finger.
Yeah. My issue though is, and again, you and I have had this conversation. Are you going to want to buy the cheapest tourbillon just to say you have a tourbillon? Because, well, the interesting thing about this is that people only buy tourbillons to say they have tourbillons, because the tourbillon is the most useless, ridiculous complication in the watch world. It's stupid. I hate them. But
along with the equation of time.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a different video though, to complain about that.
I don't think they made that to sell them. I mean, of course they sold them, but I think they did it for marketing, because the amount of press that tourbillon got was well worth like the amount it cost them to produce it. I'm guessing, at least.
Okay, Abu wrote, not to mention the Tag O2T has a COSC certification. Here's the issue with this, all right, and I hear this all the time in my comment section. My SKX 007, that's like a few years old, is running within COSC, like is running within their criteria, within their standards. So it doesn't have the certification from them, but that's not something, again, to brag about. This is all just Swiss made marketing, labeling, certification BS. Just because your watch is slapped with some certification, can you charge a few G's more for it? This is again another topic, but just to get you thinking.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. But let me put it this way, Jory. So we agree there's a lot of marketing fluff. You don't like it. I don't necessarily like it either, but I think it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We agree that they make some extremely overpriced entry-level watches. But what about some of the other stuff they make nowadays? Like the Octavia reissue with that sick column wheel chronograph movement,
right?
The beads of rice bracelet, and that beautiful reissue. I mean, I think it's overpriced at I think $5,000 retail, but I think if you can pick one up used, around $3,000, it's a very valid watch.
No, I will agree with you. I think the current Monacos also, it's like they're decent watches, sure, but the thing is, what you just touched upon, Watch Display, our buddy Watch Display just mentioned. I think the Tag Heuer reissue. It's good on the pre-owned market for someone who really desires a vintage Heuer, but doesn't want to spend over $10K on a vintage Heuer. So with the point you just said, I'll agree. I think some of their reissues that are harkening back to the old Heuer stuff are more accessible, and in that way, it is appealing. But again, it's just super overpriced for what they're offering, in my opinion.
They are, and one little correction here from where did I read it? Gary Wilson, yeah, but because the plastic inside puts you off the premium stuff. Well, actually, yeah, I thought he meant there was plastic in the premium tags, which is not true. That's not what he meant. So sorry about that, Gary. But Jory, here's the thing: tell me any Swiss brand that is not overpriced. Breitling B01, $10,000 retail. $4,000 pre-owned. Breguet Marine, $12,000 retail.
Hamilton,
$8,000 pre-owned. I mean, so this is not just
Yeah. Well, again, whenever I make this argument that tag is overpriced, people are like, "Oh, and Rolex isn't."
Well, notice I didn't say
Rolex is, but here's the thing: the disparity in quality between Rolex and Tag is quite vast, right? Like Rolex is definitely overcharging, but if you took Rolex off the dial and you took all their signage, you'd still be left with an incredible watch. Whereas Tag, you take one of their Aqua Racers, you remove all the signage and all the branding off the Tag dial. It's really not comparable to that Rolex now, is it?
Absolutely 100% true. I just think that, you shouldn't, I'm not you, but people shouldn't necessarily judge the brand by its lowest offering. It's because the lowest offerings, as I said, are just marketing. I think if you look at some of their mid-range to upper-end stuff, the Octavias, the Monacos, the Monzas, there is quality there. Is it maybe the price? Would you pay full price for it? No. And somebody asked, would you recommend Tag? I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to recommend a Tag, but if you like one of these higher end tags and you can get a price on it, then I wouldn't not recommend it. That's kind of my point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that question was aimed at me as well. I would not recommend Tag because for the money, I would recommend another brand on the used market. Like you could get a used Omega in really decent condition for money that you'd be spending on a Tag. Some people here mentioned William mentioned Oris. Oris is a great company. They have some really cool watches. They're Swiss. Obviously, they're probably marked up as well. Like they have to make money, but they're not gouging you. And let me put it this way. I would recommend a slew of other watches before I ever got to Tag. So yeah.
That's probably my case as well. But if somebody asked me, like, hey, Federico, I want to buy a Tag Heuer Carrera Jack Heuer reissue, is it a piece of shit? I'd say, well, listen, it's a great mid-level, entry to mid-level luxury watch. If you like it, it's not a bad watch. But I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way and someone's like, I want a chronograph. I wouldn't say go buy the Jack Heuer.
Real quick, Lucille says, I gotta agree with Fed here. The argument Jory is making has shifted from tag is garbage to tag is overpriced, which isn't the same thing. Well, I actually never said tag is garbage. I meant Tag Heuer, the company, is garbage because they are selling you overpriced watches that are not worth the price they are selling them for. I don't see how that is confusing at all. But yeah, maybe stick with me here.
Got it. Let's see. Let's give a little love to the comment section. Pedro Signs, Rolex has insane prices. Their tool watches turned into luxury items. Yeah, they absolutely do. Redskin Pride, I pay full price for my Vostocks. I mean, can you really discount a Vostok? What do they got to do? Pay you to buy one? Can they get any cheaper? Brian Roberts, I still have a soft spot for the Monza. Yeah, listen, I have a soft spot for the reissue tags. I think they're very stylish, and I don't think they're badly made, personally.
Robin, what about the price of the Tourbillon? Cheapest available? We actually already covered that earlier.
Yeah. Tag Heuer on the issue of using a Seiko movement. Okay, I'm going to go crazy because no matter how many times I explain the Seiko movement issue, my YouTube channel doesn't reach enough people to correct everybody. So no matter when I talk about tags, someone always mentions it. So Tag Heuer didn't use a Seiko movement. When someone says they use a Seiko movement, it means you bought it from Seiko, Seiko sent you the movement, and you used it. That's not what happened. What Tag Heuer did is they called the movement in-house, which was wrong because it wasn't in-house, but they bought the rights of the design of the movement from Seiko, and they machined their own parts in their own factory. So Tag Heuer made the movement, and they made tweaks to it, but they bought the design from Seiko. Now, in my book, that's not a Seiko movement. That's not the same thing as saying this $10,000 watch uses a Seiko movement. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, it's similar to what Siegel did way back when with the Venus, Venus 175 movement, I believe. They bought the machines and the rights to that, and then they started making their ST19s and their ST21 movements. So I've been corrected in the comment section for the wording I chose. I said that the Siegel ST19 and the ST21 are essentially redesigns of the Venus 175s, and people were like, no. Siegel bought the machining and the rights to use that, so the ST19 and the ST21 are actually in-house Siegel movements. So
sure, but I hate this outrage culture where they're like, Tag bought a $25 Seiko movement and put it in there. It's just not. That's not it at all.
It's harkening back. I don't know, what was it, 4 years ago maybe now, with the whole Panerai Brooklyn Bridge edition. Remember?
That was just a stupid mistake. That was a big mistake.
We'll talk about that in another live stream.
Yeah. Ooh, Armando Fernandez checking in from Hollywood, Florida. Armando, you're probably 3 blocks north of me because I'm in Hallandale, Florida.
Ralph Gilster, been watching T3 since he started. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. You rock.
Okay, watch display. Sin bought the rights to vintage Navatimers so they can design their own Navitimer. Exactly right. Zin did, when Breitling was going through a crunch, a financial crunch, they sold the rights to the Navitimer to Sin. That is true.
Chris, hello from Cape Cod. I'm from southern New Hampshire, so I'm a New England guy with you. Love Cape Cod. Been there a bunch.
Robin C. Everyone used ETA, no one cared. Tag used Seiko, and it's a big shit. I mean, I can see if it was truly 100% a Seiko movement, it would have been a big deal. But what about Bremont, Jory? Remember that? Their new in-house movement that was actually a Le Jeu Perret. That's
Right.
like $200.
Here's my issue with Bremont is they are incredibly overpriced. They make like their dual crown like super compressor type things, cool watches for sure. Way overpriced. Way overpriced.
Dude, I made a video about Bremont. Maybe it went a little bit overboard. You know, I mean, I was a little harsh, but it was like an unscripted, like me turning on the camera and just going apeshit.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of hate for that video.
Because people like what they like. But I mean, here's the deal, dude. And it's funny because that one comment earlier, people get it so misconstrued. Tag Heuer as a company, in my opinion, is garbage. There's a lot of other companies, in my opinion, that run their companies like garbage. Doesn't mean the quality of their watches are just trash. It's that they're selling them at just way too high of a price for the quality you're getting. And in my opinion, Bremont does that. In my opinion, Tag is a much larger offender than even Bremont. But yeah.
By the way, Rafael Barquero, Fed and Jory, let me know when you're in Costa Rica. We can have a nice dinner and talk together and talk watches. Hell yeah, dude, Jory, we gotta go.
Super down. Super down. That'd be awesome.
Oh, Random Rob. Okay, Rob is another guy very active in the watch community on Facebook, a YouTube channel. So if you guys don't know Random Rob, go check him out. He makes a pretty decent comment here. I don't understand how anybody can say overpriced on anything. If the item sells at said price, how can it be overpriced? Rob, from an economic standpoint, I think you're completely right. But I think we're talking more from like an enthusiast standpoint.
Well, no, and you got to look at market trends here, man. Like I look at pricing structures all day for work, right? And so one of the biggest issues is so people will say like, oh, there's this watch online, it's selling for 10K. That means like all these watches are worth 10K. No, it's just because one is put up there and it's listed on eBay as 10K. And then wait, hold on. And then if one idiot, like, okay, let's say that someone posts an SKX mod on eBay, lists it for 10K. Okay, that doesn't mean the watch is selling for 10K. Now, let's say some dum-dum buys that modded SKX for 10K. Does that mean that watch is worth 10K? No, it's still a vastly overpriced watch. Someone just screwed themselves. So,
of course,
that's where I think the distinction is.
Well, here's the thing. You just hit a nerve, like, in a good way with me, because everybody here knows I make no qualms about it. I'm a watch dealer full-time. That's how I pay my bills. By the way, shout out delraywatch.com, link in the description. Sorry. But people call me all day long, and they're usually nice. They're always nice, actually. And they say, hey, Fed, I'm just making an example. I need to sell this Tag Heuer. And I say, well, what do you want for it? They're like, well, it's all over Chrono 24 and eBay for $5,000. So I need 4,700. I'm like, well, just because they're on Chrono 24 for $5,000 doesn't mean they're selling for $5,000.
Exactly.
Two very different numbers.
Right.
Michael Chatter. Hey, Fed, do you consider Breitling B01 movement high horology? Michael, I don't consider it high horology because to me, high horology is a high level of hand finishing, and the Breitling isn't hand finished. But I do consider it, a luxury movement. Absolutely.
Sam Smith. You rock, by the way, Sam. He wrote, I want everyone who's watching the channel to like the stream. Thank you, Sam. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Sergey, guys, what do you think of the Japanese used watch market? Dude, Japanese used watch market is super interesting because the Japanese is a culture. Don't believe in used items. So anything that's used over there sells for dirt cheap.
But, but as a culture, they take care of their stuff incredibly. If you go over to Japan, they have old cars that are like pristine, immaculate, and that's why you can pick up some JDM Grand Seikos at Japanese pawn shops for ridiculous prices. So that's my one tip, real quick.
Oh yeah. Plus, I import vintage Omega from Japan all the time. I mean, I go, either I go once a year to Japan or they come to Miami for the IWJG shows, and I pick up, Omegas that would sell in America for $2-3 grand, $2.5 grand. I can pick them up for $1,500, no problem.
Awesome.
I shouldn't be revealing my secrets. Random Rob says, tag sells to non-enthusiasts. If the market was driven by enthusiasts, the price would drop. Rob, you're 100% right. We're not saying tag will drop their prices. Enthusiasts are only a very small fraction of the market. But we are enthusiasts, so I guess we're just taking the enthusiast perspective, so to speak. Let's see, what else? Awesome chat. Well, it's already 3 p.m. Well, anyway, guys, Jory, unfortunately, I have to get back to work. I've got a client coming in at 3:30. But I want to thank everybody here for joining us for this live stream. Please tune in next week, Thursday, same time. Actually, not same time, half an hour later, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, 12 p.m. Pacific, but this time on T3's channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, go do it immediately. Link in the description below.
Thank you so much, guys. And guys, of course, as always, leave us comments when the video of this chat uploads. Let us know how we did. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about in the near future. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. And as always, we will catch you in the next one. Take care.